Yes, Shad.
With Ryan.
We have Chef Ryan, our global chef, culinary expert for a Tuesday, in the studio as ever for Yes Chef, where we look at a wide range of seasonal foods and ingredients across the year, and Ryan is kind enough to prepare them in delicious ways for us today. Is no exception. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Peter. How are you, man?
Are you already munching away?
Sure, it's here.
You're
it's ready to
started.
eat.
My goodness gracious.
I can't take all the credit for this. I actually stopped by the fish market early this morning and saw my fish ladies.
Your famous fish ladies. I need to get their numbers or something, because you're always raving about them. They're reasonably priced. They do lots of stuff for you. You're their regular customer. If I say, Chef Ryan is my friend,
yeah,
will she give me a discount?
Yes, absolutely.
I hope so. She
Without
won't
a doubt.
jack up the prices or something. I saw on your social media you did a video as well of the fish being prepared earlier. That was so cool to see how talented they are in like just gutting out the middles. I'm not a big fan of doing that side of things, especially with these smaller fish. So I'm watching that video now. They're kind of like descaling the outside of it. Well, first, let's tell our listeners, what are we talking about this week?
Chono, aka gizzard shad, or spotted sardine. I was never familiar with this in the West.
No, me neither.
But every September, actually maybe August to October, I suppose, is really the season.
Here in Korea.
In Korea. And I just love having seasonal stuff. You know, when I was growing up, pretty much anything that you wanted any time, you just go to the supermarket and you grab it.
Yeah.
There wasn't much of anything seasonal about it.
Exactly.
And here so much is totally seasonal, and so I really love, you know, it's a sign of fall when you see these in the markets, when you go by the hoechips, the like Korean sashimi restaurants, and you'll see the sign out there in, you know, late summer or fall, and it says chono chono chono, you know, and it has the price up there.
Are these completely impossible to get then at other times of year, like spring and
I never
summer?
see them. Of course, they're eaten fresh, live, you know, like still in rigor. The Korean style of sashimi, quite different from the Japanese style, you know.
Yeah.
Right out of the tank, cut up for you when you sit down at the table at the restaurant.
Yeah, if you're a bit squeamish, don't watch Chef Ryan's video of this being prepared from his fish ladies, because although the heads have been severed, they are still, moving. But this is the way. It's just totally fresh, not like some of the Japanese style where they'll, like, kind of ferment it half for a little while.
True. And it's not frozen and then thawed out. It's just totally fresh. The first time I ever had these was at a fall festival, and I saw them in the tank, and I saw the price was not very high.
Yeah.
You know, often sashimi kind of things can be a little expensive when you're talking about flounder, snapper, but these are relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, I must think that they must be very plentiful at this time of the year and easy to catch to be so reasonably priced.
Apparently this particular year they're not as much, but on all the previous years I guess they'd be about $1 each, maybe a little bit less.
Okay, and we're talking how big for our listeners who don't have the video radio?
If they got bigger than, say, 6 inches, then the bones might annoy you more. What's so interesting about this one is yes, you gut it. Yes, you remove the head. You remove like the dorsal fin, but you still leave the backbone. You don't fillet this fish because the bones are minor, kind of like sardines. You don't fillet sardines either. So.
Sure. So you just kind of chew on that texture. Don't forget they've not been cooked, so they're not soft bones, but they're easily to digest.
Are you looking forward to crunching through some bones, Peter?
I've got to say, I do love raw fish. I love it, the Korean style, the Japanese style, but I don't like the bones. I don't like it sometimes when they'll give you the kwangeo, which is the flounder, is that?
Right, flounder, yeah.
And they'll give you also like a portion which still has the little bones like on the edges of the fish.
That's the best part.
Yeah, but they got the bones in, and it just kind of sometimes...
It's like cartilage, man. It's got to get a nice little crunch to it.
But sometimes, that crunch, I don't know, I'm not a fan, and it will sometimes stick in my teeth like a few of the little bones, and then you have to pick it out, and sometimes it can be a bit awkward. Chona, I've also had maybe once or twice when I first came to Korea, people would say, yeah, it's in season, let's go get some chona. And I don't know, the flavour, I'm going to have to judge it again, because when I had it the first time, I just I was like, meh, that's all right, but there's not too much like distinctive flavour to it, in my opinion. Let's give it a try anyway. So this is prepped with some sauce on it. If you're watching the video radio, we've got 2 dishes in front of us. So are they the same?
Yeah, this is the same. There's just some different greens there. I know you're not a huge fan of perilla leaves or the sesame leaves, so I brought some other options for you.
Okie dokie.
I've forgotten the Korean name for this stuff.
Well, the English name will be fine.
It's kind of like celery. It tastes so much like a strong celery, but I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, really?
You know this one though, right? Do you like celery?
No.
Okay.
Because the celery is very strong, isn't it, in its flavour? When you add it to a chicken soup or something and you crunch down on it.
I love the strength of that.
My goodness, it smells just like celery.
Yeah.
And this is not from celery.
No, not at all.
That is celery.
Right, it's awesome.
Wait, did we not have this one time before? Because I see the pattern on the leaves that I recall. Yeah.
Well, try that. You got some chopsticks there.
Yeah.
Try that with the fish, and then there's a friend made this red pepper vinegar paste, the chojang.
That's traditionally what you'll have this fish with, right? Dipped in.
Yeah, that or maybe the samjang, the mix of the garlic and the doenjang, this fermented soybean paste, and some gochujang, the fermented pepper paste.
Okay. So having it with the leaf definitely adds like a herby celery flavour. Yeah. The bones are not bad at all, actually.
Oh, I'm proud of you, Peter.
I like the sauce as well. Without the sauce, it may be a bit too plain.
Yeah. Well, when you get these and you're right at the seaside too, or they're super fresh, they haven't been in a tank for very long.
Yeah.
Man, they really are awesome, and they have a nice, almost chewy texture. And so we'll have it like this, or a muchim, like a spicy salad, with maybe carrot, garlic, different kinds of onions and greens in there too sometimes.
Yeah, and I've got to say, for Korean raw fish, the most popular has got to be kwangho, right? The flounder. And then you've sometimes got the urok, which is the snapper, is it?
Isn't that rockfish?
Rockfish, okie dokie. And then you've got this chona as well. And they're all kind of, for me at least, similar in terms of the taste, the actual flavour of the meat. There's not a big difference, right?
I know what you mean. But for Korean people who really love these things, they totally notice a difference. And
of course.
It may take you a while to realize just how... Like, when I first came here, the first time I would have rice sitting around with Korean friends, people might say, oh, the rice is hard today. And I'm like, no, it's just rice.
Yeah.
And then another day, oh, the rice is soft today. No, it's just rice. Yeah. But after being here for a while, then I started doing it too. Oh, the rice is hard today. It takes a while to get used to it and notice the differences between those fish. And then between restaurants, too. Between locations, between seasons. It all changes.
I'm definitely not an expert, a connoisseur of Korean raw fish, because although I do eat it from time to time, I must say I prefer the chobap style, the kind of sushi style where sometimes it has been fermented a bit or frozen and then thawed. And I feel like the taste difference between like a piece of salmon and maybe tuna belly is way bigger than the difference that is really minor for me between a chona, a gizzard shad, and a kwangho, a flounder kind of thing. Because I don't know,
I can tell just the way you're looking at it. You're not really getting in. You have to get into it a little bit before you're going to notice the differences.
This is true, I suppose. You will be definitely notice the difference between maybe if you've come from England, the UK, or the US, you've been exposed more to Japanese style raw fish in terms of sushi or sashimi, and then you come to Korea and you try the raw fish here. It's a different style completely. Like you said, you just have it so fresh that there's nothing been done to it, so the flavors are much more subtle, I guess.
It becomes much more of a textural thing as well. And by not having the rice with it, the rice is a huge part of the chobap, or the Japanese style sushi. It's a huge part of the flavor and textural component.
And I can see it's Jonna, the bones in this case, it does add something to it. I think if it was just the meat,
it's good.
It would not be as good. Because, like I said, the taste in there is not that pronounced, so having some texture to crunch down on adds something to it rather than makes it annoying in any way whatsoever. But the meat on the side of the bones is pretty boneless. It's just that middle, what is that? bone called? The spine, I suppose.
Yeah. It's got a backbone and it's got some little hairpin bones going through it, just like a herring or a sardine or something like that.
Yeah.
And we lost Sirloin.
Oh dear, he wants some of the action as well and wants to eat as well. This is, I don't know, is this something that other countries eat then? Like you said, you didn't really hear about it before you came to Korea.
I'm not so sure. I'm sure nearby there must be other, but consumed in this way, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's got to be fresh to be enjoyed this way. If they have died in the tank and they're not, pulled out for like hue, for like this style, then they grill them. Here, have you had that way?
No. Do they taste good grilled?
It's really good. It's really good.
Is it not a bit bitty? I guess you don't have to take out the bones then either, right? Can you just eat it?
Well, the meat comes right off the bone pretty easily, and you don't have to worry about it too much because the bones aren't big.
I would love to try it grilled because I love
a little
all
bit
fish
of salt.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes the soy sauce as well. Sometimes a bit of the wasabi. I like to dip a bit of like samchi. What's samchi in English again? Samchi is the
Spanish mackerel.
Spanish mackerel. That can be so meaty, can't it? But I can imagine this would be delicious as well, grilled, but never had it that way. Tell us if this is a thing in your country, chona or gizzard shad, if you've ever tried it, what you think of it from us eating it as well. It's an interesting raw fish with a bone. It's a tiny little thing compared to like the flounder or the urok, and really popular, I would say, amongst older men here in Korea. Like my father-in-law loves it, absolutely swears by it, and a lot of his friends will go out and they have this, obviously with a glass or two of soju as well, and enjoy it of a night time. We'll be back in part 2 with some more talk about this, and then also what's in your fridge. Let us know what ingredients you've got, and we'll come back with some brilliant recipes. This is B1A4 rolling. We're back for part 2 of Yes Chef with Ryan, and today we are talking all about chona, the seasonal fish gizzard shad, or what did you say, spotted sardine? Is it known
That's
as?
one of the names too.
Okie dokie. I'm not too familiar with. Chef Ryan's not too familiar with in other countries other than Korea, especially eaten in this way. Straight out the tank, still alive, chop, 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 and then eat it with, like we're doing so, the kind of vinegar chili paste, or you can also maybe enjoy it with the samjang. Yep. I do like samjang and raw fish. I always thought, before I tried that for the first time, samjang, which is the chili pepper paste with garlic and sesame oil, is that basically it?
Sometimes some chopped up chilies.
Some chopped up chilies,
to get a little bit extra kick.
That makes it taste nice. I always associated that with meat. You always have it there with the meat, with the samgyeopsal especially, and then you put it in the wrap. So when it was offered to me with raw fish, I was like, that's not going to go well together at all. It's got to be with grilled meat. But then I tried it with the kwangol, with the flounder. It tastes way better than anything else, actually, I think now.
I love the samjang, especially when you go out to the East Sea.
Yeah.
Or down on the South Coast too. You'll often get that served with whatever you're having seafood-wise in a restaurant.
Yeah, it is pretty ubiquitous for anything. It doesn't have to go with just one particular fish
fresh,
or ingredient.
Yeah, made up fresh, or at least the chilies are chopped up fresh. The toasted sesame oil gets poured on, the chopped garlic, minced garlic gets on there. But then the doenjang, of course, was fermented over the winter.
Yeah.
Just a lot going on.
Tastes so good. And for me, that's the thing about Korean raw fish. Like I said, maybe the fish isn't the most flavorful, but you've got all those sauces. You've got the samjang, you've got this chojang, and then you've also sometimes got the the sesame oil with the salt and pepper in it.
Right.
And then you're basically eating it for that flavor and then the texture of the fish.
Yeah, but once you get into it, if you really got into it, Peter, you would start to recognize a unique flavor for each of the fish. I promise.
Sure I would, because I'm starting to get more friendly with this. I've already had 2 or 3 pieces, and I'm thinking, Jono, maybe next time I'm at a raw fish restaurant. I wouldn't get it as the main, because you could, I guess, ask just for 1 or 2 extra when you're eating some flounder or something like that, right?
This time of year, you can go to some of these places and they'll have like a full set menu that's all centered around chono.
Oh, wow.
So you'll have the muchim, the spicy salad. You'll have the grilled ones, the salted grilled ones. Which, have you ever heard that saying about, there's this like some old saying in Korean about chono?
No.
When you grill the chono, the smell is so good that a runaway daughter-in-law will come back home.
Oh, fantastic. That's quite a powerful thing then.
Yeah.
So grilled jono is meant to smell really good. Why have I not had grilled jono?
Well, you gotta get out there and try.
Seriously? Wow, what a brilliant saying as well. We got some messages from our listeners abroad. Annie in Singapore says, I'm looking at Peter eating the raw fish and the fish looks fresh. I am salivating here. Definitely fresh. Chef Ryan bought this morning from the fish market, right?
They were swimming this morning.
They were swimming when they're on the chopping board as well, or trying to. Siska from Indonesia says, I can't turn on the camera now. My signal suddenly went weak. What is the name of this fish again? Chona? I don't think we have it here in Indonesia, but jono is a common guy's name in Indonesia. I'm sure they're not called gizzardshad in English. I love fish, but not raw, please. Grilled or fried is the best. I'm not a fan of sashimi too. I can eat it, but it just tastes cold and bland for me. Okay, Chef Ryan, to some of our listeners out there, you know, we've got listeners from all across the world. Some places, raw fish is not a traditional dish, right? And I had some English friends as well, still do, who were really like, why would you eat it raw? And when they've tried it, they've said, like Siska, it just tastes so bland. And I could see that about this fish when I first tried it, chana or kwango. They're like, it just tastes cold and bland. The texture's not nice in your mouth. What would you say to them to kind of encourage those people to give it a try? Or what are the like attractive points of raw fish?
Boy, I've always loved it. From the first times having like Japanese style sushi.
At about what age did you first try raw fish?
Maybe around 12 or 13, maybe.
Okay,
like that.
So pretty young. Although having said that, kids here, they will maybe try their first chop-up when they're like 3 or 4. My son he loves it actually.
He does, and Dad only likes the salmon mostly and stuff.
No, I do. I am more adventurous than him, but he has a real penchant for the nalcha, the tiny fish eggs. He loves that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites when I first started eating sushi.
They do. They have the real pop to them as well, and they're a bit salty. They are really good.
Flying fish roe.
Yeah, that's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah. So what would you say? You tried it when you were young. You always liked it. But for people who maybe they look at it and they're like, oh, I don't want to try that.
Well, it's easy to start with the salmon. Really, I mean, I don't know anybody. I might have a squeamish culinary student every now and again, and I'll bring in a whole fresh salmon, and cut that belly off and have everybody have a taste of the belly with a little bit of soy sauce.
Oh, so good.
And you can't not love that. I'm sorry, even if you've never had raw fish in your life, if you got salmon belly with a little bit of soy sauce on it, it just melts in your mouth. It's amazing.
It does, but that is not really representative of all raw fish.
No.
That's like the creme de la creme, isn't it?
Right, but that's the gateway. So then you try that one.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, now I'm opened up to try maybe some more things. Of course, tuna belly as well. That's
pretty good.
That's a little pricier sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you get more adventurous, and the Korean style is really unique because it's. I mean, these things are coming right out of the tank.
Yeah.
They're getting the flounder's getting sliced up right there when you order it, and you got this different kind of texture. And the sides, that jinoramisal, the skirt of the flounder, so amazing, so unique.
Yeah,
but
the bones again.
That one you're gonna like later on down the road, maybe after you get more adventurous into it. So.
That's a good tip. Yeah, use salmon or something with a lot of flavor that the majority likes to get into it.
The eel is an easy one, the Japanese style eel where it's already cooked.
Yeah, with the teriyaki
just
on
a
top.
starter, just to kind of ease into it.
That is such a good tip. Don't go straight for something like a jono because with the bones inside as well.
The first time I had uni. Or songe, or
the sea urchin insides,
Yeah, the first time I had that, I was like,
Me too. I was like, why?
I think I was like 17 or 18, and I was like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
But now it's my favorite one.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I have grown to like... They'd say that, don't they? If you keep trying something, it will grow on you. And there are only like a tiny proportion of foods that you will continually dislike. But most, you'll at least get ambivalent to them.
Bondegi, I still can't like bondegi.
Yeah, you need to try it a bit more. Maybe we'll do that next week, Ryan. I'll get my own back. And then Siska says, Peter, seriously, are you enjoying the raw fish? I am curious. Yes, I must say, I've changed my mind a little bit on jono after today because I used to get really hooked up on the bones, but that they don't even stick in your teeth. They're fine. They've gone down.
I'm impressed with you today. I was afraid you were not going to like this.
No, I've grown up in the past week.
Boy, yeah.
So that's what we've been talking about today, the gizzard shad or spotted sardine, and it's seasonal, in season right now in Korea, probably until October, and then it will be gone for another year, so check it out. If you're watching us on YouTube, then don't forget you can watch #DailyK via the video radio 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. KST, and if you're listening on the radio and you've just missed this, don't worry, in the next couple of days we will post it up onto YouTube. Just type in Arirang Radio Yes Chef and you'll be able to catch us there. Ryan, we've got a couple of what's in your fridges?
We do. We've got Puput in Indonesia has the makings of a muchim, I think.
Oh, really?
It'd be a unique kind of muchim. We were talking about how this ingredient can go into a spicy Korean salad, which usually has like a vinegar element, a spicy element, a sweeter element.
Yeah.
It could come from pear, or you've got carrots and egg, tofu, gochujang, the red pepper paste, red onion, papaya, guava, salted fish, cheddar cheese. Let's not use that in the muchim. And yeah, the cream cheese and the bolognese, we'll leave those out. But all those first ingredients, the papaya, the guava as well, if you have a little bit of some kind of vinegar around and mix that with your gochujang, your red pepper paste, then every other ingredient you can get in there. You could just barely saute the carrots, or you could just julienne them thin and leave them in raw. Same with the red onion. And yeah, you're going to get a combination of garlic, the red pepper paste, a little bit of vinegar, and then let the fruit sweeten it. Yeah. And the vegetables sweeten it. That could be really good. You could put the salted fish in there too, but I don't know exactly how the flavor would be of your particular salted fish. So you just have to add it slowly and see, if it works.
That's such a foreign concept to a Western person, well, at least from me, from the UK, putting together like chili pepper paste with fruit.
Yeah,
that's just.
Oh, but in Mexico, man. Oh, man.
Is it common down there?
Oh, yeah. Tajin on your fruit.
What's
chili
tajin?
Powder.
Oh, really?
Chili powder, lime stuff all over. Hot sauce on your fruit.
Seriously?
Oh, it's awesome. It makes your mouth just water and water and water. It's just incredible.
Well, I guess what springs to mind now is I have a friend from El Salvador, and she gave me this pack of plantain chips. Like potato chips, and that is kind of like a banana /
I've tried
potato.
those. They're good.
And she says the best way is then to add some chili sauce on there as well. And I guess that's kind of putting it on a fruit, and it tasted really good.
One of my roommate in college was from Mexico, and he would sit and eat a great big bag of potato chips when he'd squeeze a lime into it.
Wow.
With a ton of like traditional Mexican red sauce.
Really?
Yeah, and just shake up the bag with the lime and the hot sauce, and then just devour this giant bag of chips.
Did you try it? Was it good?
He got me hooked on it. It's
Seriously?
amazing.
Oh, yeah. Because when you eat potato chips here, you don't think to put anything else on them, but that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Lime and spicy and vinegar. It works every time.
Okie dokie, Pooper. Give it a try and let us know how it goes. The Hungry Gooner from Spain got up early to post for us.
Yeah. Tasha's fridge here. We've got the makings of a really nice, I would kind of want to put it into a wrap, but I think Tasha wants to stay a little gluten-free, so maybe just like a salad. But check this out. Okay, she's got Greek yogurt and she's got cucumbers, so tzatziki is just awesome. If you take a cucumber, grate it through a cheese grater, add a little salt, let it sit for 15 minutes.
Okay.
The water's going to come out, squeeze it, and then combine that with your Greek yogurt. And you have what's called tzatziki. It's kind of a yogurt dip.
Yeah.
You can add lemon juice, lemon zest to that, a little garlic as well. Just awesome flavors right there. And then she's got black olives. She's got tofu, spinach, kale, dates, peaches, plums, chocolate butter, chicken, mortadella, green olives, beets, and avocados. See, the beets, the avocados, the kale, the spinach, and then the tzatziki could make just an awesome, like really fresh salad with beautiful bright colors with the green of the avocado, the bright purple red of the beets.
Yeah.
If you just kind of steam them or boil them briefly, you could grate the beet over the salad, and it's just so bright and colorful and delicious.
Yeah.
So the mortadella could go into that particular
salad.
What is a
mortadella?
It's just like a bologna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a spaghetti kind of bologna.
No, like a processed meat.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Mortadella, I'd never heard of that. With green olives as well. Yeah, that sounds like a very healthy salad, doesn't it? And then just have a bit of chocolate for dessert, perhaps.
And that could work too, yeah.
Sounds delicious. Yeah, I hope
Beautiful
you're satisfied
colours.
with that, Tasha. We've got one more that we can hopefully squeeze in. You can always rely on Siska to give you a challenge. This week, I only have a fruit parade, she says, Chef Ryan. Grapes, watermelon, melon, banana, tomatoes, eggs, potato, carrot, milk, and a chocolate bar. Can we do some kind of fondue? Are you a fan of fondue?
All right, I got something funny for you to try. This is something that some very, very talented chefs did years ago.
Okay.
As an experiment, and I think it went over very, very well.
Oh, wow.
By freezing and thawing watermelon over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
they were
happens?
able to mimic, and then also they'll marinate it.
Yeah.
With soy sauce and like a tuna broth.
Ugh.
They were able to hold on.
Yeah.
They were able to convince your palate that you're having expensive tuna sashimi.
Wow.
But you're really just eating watermelon.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That changes the textures that much?
By freezing and thawing, the way the tuna is often treated in Japan. And then by marinating it in the right flavors, like a tuna broth, and some soy and a little wasabi.
Wow!
They were able to kind of recreate a texture and flavor
seriously,
but out of watermelon.
That's amazing.
So play with temperatures like that, Siska. That could be fun. With all those fruit, that's some great stuff.
I've heard the good life hack with grapes is when you've got some white wine that you didn't put in the fridge. If you've got some frozen grapes, put it in the wine, then it won't water down the wine.
Yeah,
and still add the great flavour as well.
Trick, yeah.
So there's a little life hack for you. I would love to try that watermelon that tastes like tuna.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I wonder how similar it is. Do you know, because I've heard sometimes they have raw tuna restaurants here, separate from the chobap restaurants, where it's just the tuna and they'll bring it out kind of unlimited.
Right.
But I've heard from some people that it's not real tuna is what they say. They say it's like a different species.
Yeah, some of them are.
But it's not watermelon.
No, it's definitely not watermelon. No.
But what is the difference there? Do you know, Ryan?
Yeah, I know that there's one that's banned in Japan. In America,
really?
they'll call it super white tuna, and it's a fish called escalar or something like that.
Okay.
And it's a really, 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 really fatty fish, so it does melt on your tongue.
Yeah.
But it is not tuna.
Okay. And it's just marketed incorrectly sometimes. And they sometimes serve it here.
Right. They have to change the name sometimes of things to get people to buy them. It's the same thing with Chilean sea bass. In the 70s, 80s, nobody wanted any of it. Until they gave it the right name and started to convince people to put it on menus. And now you can't hardly find it for less than $30 a pound.
Really? It is about marketing as well, isn't it, with foods, unfortunately. Siska says, just from Indonesia, that chili powder is also put on our fruits here with salt, and it gives you a great sensation when you're eating them, especially on pineapples, young mangoes, white guavas, and water guavas. And I'll admit that raw salmon is nice, even though I don't like other raw fish.
Ah, so you have tried the raw salmon. Okay.
There is a gateway there. Ryan, thank you so much, as ever, for coming in with us and for getting up so early to go to the fish market.
Look how much I ate and look how much you ate.
This is true.
This is shameful.
I do feel bad. I'll eat another piece in the song break, I promise. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be here, man.
Okie dokie. You will be here live in the studio, despite it being a public holiday. Thank you, Ryan.
Not a problem, man.
Thank you indeed. We're going to play some Crucial Star and Hyojong, Oh My Girl. This is When Autumn Comes, on a Kaul.